So, who are you? Where'd you come from? And where'd you grow up?
Well, I am Timothy Michael Coxx. I'm originally from Brooklyn, Williamsburg, and my family is from Trinidad and Tobago, and I grew up here, and then stuff like that. Yeah.
So, all right. So, how did you know you wanted to become a poet?
Well, starting from high school is where I wanted to be a poet itself. Back in Mr. Skolnick's classroom, back in like 10th grade, I believe, and he definitely encouraged me to actually just write what's on your mind instead of writing what you feel. You know, and writing what you feel, I wasn't really good at expressing that. You know, so you say write it from your mind, it definitely like push the envelope.
Right there.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? That's a whole different way of thinking about it.
Okay, all right. So, would you say that this person, this teacher, was your inspiration at the beginning?
Honestly, yeah. I would definitely agree to that, because he basically got me to see another way of different poems, of different types of listening to more to the lyrics that a person sings or says, rather than just listen to the rhythm or the beat or just the drums. So basically the originals from scratch, a cappella version of anything.
So it's more like food for thought than just rhythm.
Yes, exactly.
When did you start taking poetry to the next level?
I feel that I took poetry to the next level was back in high school, when I was in architecture and design. Basically I had a talent show, and you know, I basically signed up for it to see, you know, what else I can see, what talent I had, and from there I felt like my poetry was more ready to be heard, listened to. Okay.
So why did you pick the name Truth Be Told?
Truth be told, well, truth, capital B, T-O-L-D.
Okay.
The name Truth Be Told initially was just trying to figure myself out.
Okay.
You know, so Truth Be Told is more of being honest with myself for me to be honest with other people. If I respect the same way back from them. So the name Truth Be Told itself mostly originated from Pharrell's song Frontin', when Jay-Z had that verse, Truth Be Told, well, you're gonna see him, I forgot that verse, but whatever that verse was, basically that clicked out to me, and it stood out way more than everything.
Okay. So how would you describe your flow, your poetic flow?
The poetic flow, the way to describe that, it would be considered a self-titled poetic lyricist.
Okay.
You know, so people from Mos Def, Common, Talib Kweli, you know, those are poetic rappers, but at the same time they get more deep in thought. So I consider them poetic lyricists because they give a good fuse of good beats, but good instrumentals, but at the same time, they give feeling behind what they're saying.
Okay,
you know?
Nice. What were some of the first styles, signs, or characteristics that makes you pick your name?
The signs and characteristics behind the name itself, how it was formed, was just hip hop and poetry. Like, I came up with a self-title called Poetic Lyricist, which I have it tatted on my arm here. I live by it. Basically, it's expressing yourself, but making people hear how you do it subliminally, do it verbally, do it how you say mentally at the same time. And with that all crafted all together and came with the idea of like, you know what, you want people to know who you are, all you gotta do is just be yourself. You know, don't try to be something you're not at the same time. You know, for me, myself, I like to stand out much more than anything. So everything from earrings, piercings, and the way I compose myself as a person, standing out was my main thing from middle school till now. And for me to come out with that flow and technique and style itself, started from me being at home, actually going back and forth to Trinidad when I was younger, and listening to soca music and reggae and different sounds of how, you know, basically I wanted to show, okay, I'm not just African American, I'm not just a black, I'm West Indian, you know. From the islands, you know, the islands give more flavor, it brings the feeling out of you, you know. Exactly. So definitely brought that into the mix of doing this.
If you had to describe your life as a rapper or as a poet, your personality in one word, what would it be?
Energetic.
Energetic
would be the best word to describe my way of poetic hip hop version of myself.
Okay. So from the early days till now, what would be some of the things you've perfected or you feel like you've improved on?
Over time, I believe what I improved on was my idea of just expressing myself, you know, and
so you've bettered your expressions, words, maybe the way you project.
Exactly, it's the way I project myself, the way I write, describing myself.
Okay.
And rather than just straightforward, I do more subliminally, but at the same time, you can still understand what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
You know,
put
at
the
same
words
time.
between the lines.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Read between the lines type feeling, exactly.
So, what would you think would be the most important practice as a poet, or knowledge you felt that was your key inspiration in your poetry?
The practice I honestly would follow, would suggest to follow if you actually want to become a good floetic lyricist or rapper or hip hop version is, is actually just listening to finding your own flow. Because everybody trying to sound like somebody else and trying to be like somebody else, you're not being you.
Okay.
You know, and that's what the name Truth Be Told came about. It's like you want to be yourself, you want to show who you are, you want to be unique, but don't sound like everybody else. So finding your own flow, that took the most time. How I want to project myself, because some people said I look like Cedric, but I sound like LL Cool J. so they couldn't. So basically, I couldn't either be either or. But it's good the fact that they got to see and hear two different people rather than you sound and look like Biggie.
Not just one style.
Exactly.
To, like, notice it very much. All right. So, what would be the hardest part as a poet? Would it be the writing, the recording, or the performance itself, and why?
The hardest part, when I first started this, was the recording, cause recording was just more of us like expressing yourself, but not in front of people. You know, and basically you can fix and edit mistakes, but at the same time, once you hear it, you're scared to go fix it. You know, so performing, actually, I have some experience doing performing, and I don't know if some people notice that my nerves do kick in, but I still project my voice. I don't still lower it down. I still push it. You know, I keep going without it. So my hands may shake a little bit, but you won't even notice it. But I feel it. It's happening. You know. So
that's how you're in control of the situation.
Exactly. So after so much doing so many things and self-taught at home in the mirror, different things, I actually like calm the nerves. But it's still there, but it still works out. And the writing itself, it was hard at first, but it developed more better because I got to be more strategic in how I want to let people know what I'm trying to say at the same time.
Okay. So, what quote would you feel best describes you or your style?
The quote actually that I wrote myself from one of the songs I have written called Seasonal Lover was open mouth thoughts in which I never say. And basically the reminiscence behind that is about me saying what's on my mind, but I don't say it physically. I rather I faster to write it down and let you read it instead. So that's why it's an open mouth thoughts in which I never say, because it's things I hold here and I want to say, but I'm afraid, I'm afraid of your feelings. I'm afraid it might not go as planned as well in my head. But at the same time, if you read it and get to hear it, it will definitely go more smoother. So that's definitely a quote I lived by from since then.
Alright, so that'll be most of the questions then.
Okay.
It was great having you here.
Definitely.
Great to have you. Truth be told.
Yes,
sir.
Thank you very much, man.